June is Internet Safety Awareness Month, and throughout this week, we are showing you how to keep your children safe online through our series, Click Smart Summer. Now, during summer break, children do have more time to spend online, so it's important to talk with them about the different risks and dangers they could face online. So here to explain more about how to keep your children safe is Jason Conboy, a special agent with Homeland Security Investigations, right?
Good morning, yes.
Good morning. So I want to find out more about this department that maybe not many people know about.
Yeah, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, we're the largest investigative criminal agency under the Department of Homeland Security, primarily focused on cross-border crimes, and of course for the topic today, that's going to be our digital border of cybercrimes.
And this is something that is so important. Parents are talking a lot about this. We know children will be out of school for the summer, spending time online. They will communicate with people online, and they may not always know who they're talking to online, right?
That's true, and I think if we go back to pre-internet is don't talk to strangers. Right. And you really need to take your kind of human being life and put it into your digital life and realize that if you don't know that person online, then maybe we shouldn't talk to them, or at least take a moment to pause and verify. It's always kind of in the cyber world is trust, but verify. So I think this summer it'd be really good to have our parents and our trusted adults talk to our children about being safe, not only in person, don't talk to that stranger, but online as well.
And sometimes someone can pose as a young person, and that might make the child feel like, oh, this is someone my age, this is a peer, but they might not always be who they say they are.
That's true. So online predators, they have the ability now to just sit in their homes and cast a wide net to find victims. So they'll create fake profiles, even of a different gender or color or creed, and then they'll use kind of the internet to build that persona. So our parents can go to knowtoprotect.gov, learn how to identify a fake profile, and then empower their children to see that when they're online.
And what we probably need to talk about is, yes, we know that you can find someone online and maybe not know who they are, but what is the risk in doing that? What can happen if you start communicating with someone who's not a good person?
I mean, it starts with that initial communication, and if our children are kind of lured into that grooming aspect from an online predator, it could go on for days, weeks, months. These predators will try to tell our children and victims to not tell a trusted adult and not tell law enforcement. So it all starts from the awareness aspect that if we can tell our children this is how you report, tell a trusted adult. A lot of these social media platforms and apps, they have the features within them to report and block. And then with our Know to Protect program, that empowers our children to then talk to a trusted adult who can then report it as what we would call a cyber tip to get to law enforcement.
And digging deeper into some of the dangers online, we've seen these cases where people will meet online and then, as you said, sort of groom the child, maybe end up going to that child in person. Or we've also talked about sextortion scams. Are these some of the big things you're worried about right now?
Absolutely. We saw a huge rise in sextortion during COVID. A lot of kids were kind of forced to be at home. They were doing school online, they were gaming online, they were communicating online. And there's a wide variety of type of sextortion schemes, but the offender wants to get the victim to do something, to get something from that, an intimate image or video, and then use that against them, whether it's a financial gain or for kind of a traditional extortion scheme. And those are extremely dangerous, and that's really puts a victim in a position to where they may be afraid to report. So we want to tell our parents and our trusted adults that it's okay to tell our children to report. They're not in trouble, they're the victim.
And it's good that you pointed it out, because I wanted to get to that. Sometimes if a child realizes, oh, I'm not supposed to be talking to this person, they might be afraid to tell mom and dad.
Yeah, and that's the point of the campaign, especially the digital boundaries this month, is to tell our children that they're not victims, right? The online predators that's the offender, and our victims should be able to kind of confidently report to trusted adults. So that's why we say trusted adults: parents, teachers, school resource officer, police, local police department.
Well, we're going to be talking much more about this throughout the week. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. And as we've been talking about, to report an incident, you can call the Know to Protect tip line. That number is on your screen. It is 833-591-5669. You can also visit the cyber tip line at report.cybertip.org, and all the information on that tip line will be reviewed and then referred to the appropriate agency or local law enforcement for investigation. Stay with us. We'll be back with more 10 News Today.